Good afternoon and welcome to this interview session for Coachville. My name is Coach Megan and I am thrilled to welcome Kimber Brittner with us today. Kimber is the founder and principal coach of MoxieMe.com. She is also a graduate of the Higher Ground Leadership Coach Certification class at Coachville, and that is what we are here to speak with her about today. So welcome, Kimber.
Thank you. Welcome.
It's so wonderful. It's wonderful to have you here. And I'm wondering, I'm just going to start right at the beginning. What inspired you to take the Higher Ground Leadership Coach Certification training at Coachville? It's a wonderful course we offer in conjunction with the Secretan Center.
Well, honestly, at the time that I enrolled, I needed CCEUs to qualify for continuing ed and recertification, so through ICF. So it was really a great discovery to find all that Coachville has online, the options. And when I looked into this particular course, it just rung a bell. It was very, it felt very congruent. It felt very much where I was already tracking and very values-driven and coaching very much around inner work and that sort of thing. So I felt like it was a very interesting fit, but I was also very fascinated because Lance's focus primarily seems to be in the corporate arena, and which is not mine, but I just loved seeing how these two worlds combined and how I actually had some false assumptions about, my place in that in terms of, being very value driven. So it was really a delight. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's fabulous. And you know what, you raise a couple of points. First of all, again, the flexibility of Coachville and coming in and being able to choose from a menu of classes, both to help you, with your recertification or to maintain your certification, and just a great variety of them. And I certainly echo your interest in the way that Lance dances between the inner and the outer in the corporate world. One of my favorite lines of his is always been, "What's wrong with loving each other and telling the truth?" And I imagine that in a room full of CEOs, and it just makes me smile every time I think about it. So great points. Thank you so much. So if you could just, I know there were many highlights over the course of the 6 weeks, but if you could choose one that you'd love to focus on, maybe you could share with us sort of a big takeaway, a big highlight that you have from that course.
Well, coming into it, I've been very much, not only in my coaching but personally, in the mindset of finding that congruence between your inner world and your outer world, and living from a place of authenticity. So it just further unfolded where I really was already processing, and extended greater permission, I think. In terms of, I think Lance is just such a great example, just as we've already spoken about, because he is in the sector that I might perceive as, without a lot of value often, inner congruence or personal values or that sort of thing. Now, obviously, that's a huge generalization, but and so I love that he kind of busted that open for me and does do that in that arena. And so that was just a great sort of expansion for me, and as well as, just as I said, continuing on with where I was tracking and giving myself permission to continue to explore that through the practicum and so forth.
That's fabulous. Now, thank you for raising the practicum. At the end of the course, we invite all of the students to complete a practicum, and this is an opportunity for you to craft a project so that you can demonstrate that the materials, the information that you learned over the course of the 6 weeks, that you find a way to express it in a project. So could you share with us what you chose to do for your practicum?
Certainly. Well, it's interesting because I think most people, when you hit that point, there's sort of this, what do I do? How do I take this and apply it? And there were some tremendous practicums previously that we had heard about. I think yours was one of them, and very impressive. And for me, it was staying true to where I was in the moment in this course and in my life. So although I did sort of incorporate it with an aspect of outer work in terms of sharing it on my blog, I kept it very personal and sort of experiential and explorative. So for me, being an artist and incorporating a lot of creativity in what I do in coaching, I chose to do a 30-day creative expression around the Spirit at Work card. So every day I drew a card and let that be the prompt for a piece of art, a piece of creativity, a piece of expression, and then I blogged about it and posted it. And so it just was very organic for me, where who I am, the way I live, the way I coach, and where I was, at that season and in this season. So that's kind of what I chose to do, and it was very fun. I had people participating and commenting, and it encouraged a lot of other people to sort of give themselves permission to create. Not with the not censoring, like it has to be a masterpiece, but I will just express myself creatively today. And so it was very fun. And part of my other goal within it was to create a sense of collaboration and bridge building in relationships. And having transitioned a lot recently, I wanted to kind of reconnect with people and build bridges and build collaboration. And so in that respect, I found it very successful.
Oh, I love that. And I love that and it's true, I think with doing it for 30 days consistently, you couldn't help but really model for people letting go of that need to create the masterpiece, the ultimate. So many people are frozen with that. So I think, what leadership you demonstrated by doing that. So did you find that, excuse me, you were getting a lot of engagement from people?
Well, I do quite a bit on social media and Twitter and Facebook, and so my community was engaged in that, and people, even the people that I know and the people that I don't know in that community. And so which for my personality, I'm somewhat social, so I find that really fun and fascinating and a delight. Now, somebody else, that might be drudgery, but for me, I love, talking to my peeps. So it was a great way to sort of connect. And art has a way of doing that too, without words, even just an image. Can express so many things and different things to each of us. So I love sort of combining all that, not trying to overthink it or be in my head about it, but just experience it.
Well, that's fabulous. And really, it just sounds like it was so woven very much organically into your life. So I'm wondering, now that we're on the other side, you've finished the course, you've successfully completed your practicum, you are a higher ground leadership certified coach. Tell me, how is it that you are finding that this material, the course, your experience with the practicum, how do you think it will inform your life moving forward, personally and professionally?
Well, I see. I'm somebody that really loves to learn and grow. I'm not content to sort of stay in the same place, and so I just feel like so many things layer upon layers, and so I feel like this is something that will stay with me, and I will carry with me as I go out and find new adventures and that sort of thing. It's that's what I loved about it. That it wasn't a 1, 2, 3 formula, so to speak. It was very, I keep saying experiential, but and explorative, and it's sort of evolutional and ongoing. Even the idea of the spirit card, daily drawing something and seeing what it speaks to you about is not something that's concrete. It's so I work very well in that frame of reference, being a creative, And so I just feel like it's just a lovely piece that's going with me, and will continue to sort of peek its head up through the way I view and see the world and process and all of that, and a great support piece.
Well, that's fabulous. That's great. So if I were to ask you, who would you recommend the course to if you were out and about and people were asking you about some learning opportunities? To whom would you recommend this class?
Well, I would definitely recommend it to other coaches that are looking to have, credentials met and recertification and that sort of thing. It's very fun, enlightening, and engaging, and not what we might think of as, a dry something I have to do to satisfy, criteria. So on that level, I would definitely say to coaches, it's a great course. But also to those friends and peers that are sort of in the niche of liking to grow and develop and evolve and morph and all those fun words. I would say that it's a great avenue to stretch and grow and experience.
Well, that's fabulous. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. Again, I've been speaking with Kimber Brittner. She is the founder and principal coach at moxieme.com. It's well worth your time to go and take a look at that website. It's fabulous. And if you're interested in learning more about the Higher Ground Leadership Coach certification at Coachville, I invite you to visit coachville.com, and under the class section, you'll find this class in the Signature Series. Thank you so much for sharing time with me today, Kimber, and wish you well moving forward.
Thank you so much, Megan.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.